Hi, this is Dr. Swanberg. I want to welcome you to week 3. I want to preview week 3 with you. First, I want to make sure that you are aware that we are opening the second set of readings this week. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now while we talk about which ones they are. They are The Poor, Out, Saturday's Child, Incident, and there is a warning on incident. There's some offensive language in that. So if you don't want to deal with that, you can skip that one. I think it's worth reading. But it's about somebody being called, the author is writing about having been called a name. And if you don't want to deal with that, skip that poem. But it's a very good poem, and probably worth reading. Those poems are available. They are under course poetry readings, under course readings, and there's the second set that has been made available for week 3. In looking at week 3, there are going to be several things for you to do. The readings are listed here. I have put up a video for understanding the poems in set 2. There is a sample student essay looking ahead at the essay that we're going to be writing about for this, the bigger essay for the poetry analysis. So you can read it and kind of get a sense of what we're going to be aiming for. There is a handout on the basics of using quotations, and then 2 videos on how to use quotes and specifically how to quote poetry. So make sure you watch those 2 videos. If you have a printer, it sure would be useful to print out that using quotes basics and have it in front of you while I go over it in this tutorial and this tutorial. I'm also going to be adding a tutorial on how to check your grades and feedback, and a quick quiz where you do a screenshot of your feedback from the week 1 diagnostic essay. So look for that as well. There's an essay jobs checklist. That's for those of you who may not have written an essay recently, or maybe who just want a little refresher of what kind of jobs happen in each sentence, especially your thesis and concluding paragraphs. Those have specific jobs. So make sure you review that and you'll know what to expect. If you have questions about that and how to create a strong thesis and concluding paragraph, reach out to me in one of those help sessions and I'll go over that with you. This week our quiz is on quoting and citing poetry and on checking your grades and feedback. We have a discussion board where your initial post is due on Wednesday, and then you have responses to peers due. Please read those instructions carefully. And then you have a poetry close reading draft. Now I'm going to open this for you and preview that there is a sample paragraph about a poem here that you are given to use as a model. So I'd like yours to end up looking as much like mine as you can. So make sure that you take some time to read that sample paragraph and again use it as a model. You can see I've got a citation, I've got quotations from my poem here, and I have several quotations from the poem, each followed by analysis. So I'm going to actually take a moment to read it to you. So this is kind of what you're aiming for this week. Being poor can make a person distrust other people. That's my topic sentence. So the whole paragraph is about how this theme that I've observed about being poor and how it works in the poem that I'm talking about. Just one poem, okay? A poor person's trust can be earned, but it is often hard to earn. One poem that shows us this is The Poor. This poem is by William Carlos Williams, who is a poet and a doctor. He wrote about impoverished people during the time around World War I. So I just took some time to introduce my author a little bit, and again, that's something we go over in the handouts on writing and using quotes and writing about poetry. The poem The Poor talks about how some people are reluctant to trust the town doctor. And you'll notice, and then it says the poem tells us that the doctor has come to school to check the children's heads for lice. And at first, the parents resent him for this. So I start off by telling about the poem in my own words before I quote from it. And then I quote from it. The speaker admits he is, quote, constantly tormenting them with reminders of the lice in their children's hair, and they resent him for that. And notice that I've got the where the line breaks in the original poem marked by these slashes, and that I follow it with a citation saying which lines from the poem that's from. There's no page number needed. We use line numbers when we're talking about short poems. In fact, not only do they resent him, they hate him. We know this because William says the, quote, school physician brought their hatred down on him with those constant reminders. And that's in lines 3 to 5. When the parents think he is looking down his nose at them because their children have lice, they don't like or trust him. But after he has treated them for a while and they begin to see his goodwill, their attitude toward him begins to soften. William writes that, quote, by this familiarity, slash to mark the line break, they grew used to him, lines 6 to 7. In fact, they are not only begin to trust him, they take him as their friend and advisor, line 8. We see that the doctor's patience has paid off in building trust with his impoverished patients. When you are a doctor treating very poor people, it is important to remember that it may take a while to build trust. So that's what you're aiming for this week. Again, we have a tutorial on how to use quotes to support your view. Please make sure you watch this. I'm begging you. This is how I'm teaching you how to write the way I want you to write. And then there's a specific video about quoting poetry, which can be a little bit different than quoting something in prose or an article. So make sure you watch those two videos and read the model that's in your close reading assignment. Now, you won't see it till you open it, so make sure that you know that it's there. And then you'll have that discussion board as well. Make sure you're reading instructions. I've set this up so that you should be engaging with each item in week 3 as you go through, and you should be doing them in order. You should open this and read it and maybe print it before you watch this. And then you should watch this, and then you should take the quiz, and then you should do the assignment, right? So I want you to engage with each item fully and in order. I put each thing in here to help you succeed with the last thing. So each thing builds and helps you succeed on this last item. So make sure you're engaging with every item in week 3. It looks like a lot, but all the videos are short, and the assignments aren't that long. So have a little patience going through and make sure you get everything. If you need help, remember to check on those instructor office hours and contact information for our regularly scheduled help sessions in Zoom, or reach out to me by the email that is listed here. Please remember that when you send me a message through messages, it does not send me alert. Please use the email that is listed here under my office hours and contact information. I'm here to help you. I hope you have a great week 3.